You know what? Next to marijuana, prescription and over-the-counter medications account for most of the top drugs abused by high school seniors in the past year. Some of the most common include Adderall, Vicodin, cold medicines, and Oxycontin. Oxycontin became the drug of choice for the former addict you're about to meet. Tempo in Depth's Laura McHugh shares his story and explains how he found the road to recovery.
When you look at a crowd of teenagers, it can be hard to tell who might be abusing drugs or alcohol, and even harder to determine which one could become an addict. Statistics show at least 1 in 10 teens ages 12 to 17 uses drugs or alcohol, and the earlier you start, the more likely you are to become addicted. At 24, Bob Kilchrist still remembers his first sip of beer.
I was 13 years old. We just got some beer and drank behind the high school, or in the woods behind the high school, and it was a good time. That's what we thought was fun, and I took it to another level. Other people didn't, but I did.
By 19, the former captain of the high school football team fed a daily addiction to cocaine and the prescription painkiller Oxycontin.
DUIs, like I crashed cars, I was just a tornado through my family, like sleepless nights and stuff like that. And I honestly know that today, but back then I didn't.
He knows because at 22 years old, Bob hit bottom. He found help at Livengrin, a Bucks County-based rehabilitation and treatment center. With its stately manor house set on 41 wooded acres in Bensalem, you could easily mistake Livengrin's campus for a private prep school or a small liberal arts college. But within these walls, patients like Bob struggle to overcome their addictions. Founded in 1966, the organization offers a continuum of care, beginning with detoxification, up to 4 weeks of residential rehab, and 8 outpatient facilities, including one located in Allentown to serve the Lehigh Valley region.
Because we know the longer we can keep people engaged in treatment, the better the long-term outcomes.
Bob spent about a month in residential rehab in the spring of 2011. Since he left, the organization started a new outpatient program specifically for teenagers ages 13 to 18.
There's a lot of really specific and different needs for adolescents.
It's so important that we catch drug use, dependence, and abuse in adolescents because they are primed for addiction.
Gabrielle Beeler oversees the adolescent treatment program.
If there's adolescence, it's happening. So it doesn't matter whether it's in the city or whether it's the suburbs or whether it's a large community or a small community, drugs infiltrate all communities that have adolescents.
In addition to marijuana and alcohol use, Gabrielle explains heroin use is on the rise, and it often starts with prescription drugs.
The problem is once they start that, that's very expensive. And accessibility is not always there. So what's very accessible in the community and to kids and cheap is heroin.
Gabrielle says the symptoms of drug abuse in teenagers include withdrawal from normal activities like sports, changes in your teenager's friends, acting sneaky or secretive, or a decline in your child's grades. Gabrielle urges parents to look for these warning signs and call the treatment center for help if you notice them.
Really, I think parents lots of times ignore that gut feeling or that inner sense that something is going on with their child. You know, it's your child and you know your children, and what I can say to parents is if you feel that something's just not right, it probably isn't.
Today, Bob shares his story so that others know they don't have to face their addictions alone.
And if you really dive into it and you want to change your life, you really can. They have treatment options and stuff like that. They'll really help you. And my life is great today because of that, when I made that decision to come to here.
Almost 2 years sober, Bob continues to work at recovery every day, but says it's well worth every effort.
Life's great today, like beyond my wildest dreams.
For Tempo in Depth, I'm Laura McHugh reporting.
Thanks so much.